In The Outer Worlds 2, you're not quite the hero Arcadia needs, but you're definitely the one it's got. As you try to solve the rift anomaly that's putting all of Arcadia in peril, here are 15 ways to make your journey a little bit more radiant. Change the perspective between first and third person. Among many gameplay settings in The Outer Worlds 2 is the option to switch between first person and third person view. This is becoming a common setting across these types of RPGs, and while I personally continue to play them primarily in first person, the third person view here is just as high quality of an experience, so go with your preference. Use your Tactical Time Dilation (TTD) gadget. Returning from the original The Outer Worlds and harkening back to the VATS system from the Fallout New Vegas days, you can slow down time during combat or exploration to get better shots, avoid incoming damage, or sneak your way past some surprisingly fast obstacles. This time it comes in the form of a gadget rather than a diagnosis, but the effect is very much the same and is incredibly helpful in a pinch. Your TTD isn't your only gadget. Try them all out. Your Tactical Time Dilation gadget is just one of a handful of gadgets you come across throughout the game. Others include a shield with the gas energy deflection apparatus and the ability to see through walls with the in-ray scanner. These are not only useful in combat, but they can often be required for solutions to puzzles or to reveal additional areas of exploration throughout the game. Some perks can have negative effects too. One of the major twists about the role-playing aspect of The Outer Worlds 2 is the new flaw system, which are individual traits that have both positive and negative aspects to them, such as one that increases your magazine capacity but temporarily decreases base damage anytime you run out of ammo. These can have some game-changing attributes for certain playstyles, but make sure you know what the downside is because these are permanent. Objectives usually have multiple ways to complete them. A hallmark of the modern Western RPG is the ability to approach different situations and proceed despite each character's different skills and backgrounds, and The Outer Worlds 2 takes this to a new level. Most main missions have numerous ways to attack them, including opportunities to talk or shoot your way through any problem, and the more that you explore, the more likely you are to stumble across other ways to progress. Side quests and optional objectives can often be instrumental to the main quest. As you look to complete each mission, don't forget to keep up with your side quests and optional objectives as well. While this is likely familiar to anyone who's played an RPG before, it's easy to forget about some of the missions lower down on your quest log when you're in the thick of that main story, but these can often give you resources or information you need to make the next main mission easier. Side quests can be hidden in terminals, collectible objects, or dead bodies. The Outer Worlds 2 heavily incentivizes you to explore around every nook and cranny across the planets of Arcadia by rewarding you with new content and quests. Frequently, as you traverse a planet, you'll come across empty shacks, computer terminals, and even dead bodies. And very often these will contain either information for a different quest, a mention of something that can be followed up on nearby, or beginning a new side quest altogether.
You walked in here under your own steam and appear reasonably free of cuts, burns, or weeping lesions. So, I assume you're presently devoid of mortiferous injuries. Good.
Tune into the wireless broadcast for new side quests and lore. It's easy to overlook, but there are radio stations in Arcadia that play music, advertisements, and in-game commentary accessible from the pause menu. Most of the time these are meant as classic radio background noise, but every once in a while you'll receive a notification to turn your radio on and listen to a distress signal or other broadcast. The quests can't be missed, and they will always be there if you miss it the first time, but you'll definitely want to jump on those quests when they come in. Your medical inhaler is not an infinite healing device. Your healing device in The Outer Worlds 2 is an inhaler that uses the in-game element of Zeranium to heal you, but don't expect it to be used indefinitely or repeatedly. The medical inhaler can be charged by visiting an auto dock or finding charging items in the world, but it doesn't always recharge automatically. Additionally, with each inhaler use, there is an increase in the amount of Zeranium in your system, which is fatal if the meter fully charges, meaning you can't use your inhaler too frequently. Melee weapons can be just as powerful as guns, if not more. While guns often get the most attention, The Outer Worlds 2 has an impressive array of melee weapons as well, which can cover everything from standard swords to shock rods or corrosive staffs. Enemies frequently have melee weapons and will rush you, so it's often helpful to have one or more equipped, especially if you're prone to needing a reload or running out of ammo. Gun damage and melee damage are separate skills, so be sure you're giving both of them a shot. Perks and skill points work in tandem with each other, but are not the same thing. When you level up in The Outer Worlds 2, you typically will receive 2 skill points to apply to any skills, and you can unlock any additional perk every second level up. Applying levels to your skills incrementally builds them to increase damage, speech skills, hacking prowess, and more, while perks are individual unlocks that give you stat increases or new abilities, like another weapon slot or a boost to your armor. Perks often have skill requirements to meet before becoming unlockable, but both perks and skill points need to be addressed separately. Don't forget about your companion skills. Your companions follow you everywhere around Arcadia, and you don't want to forget their abilities during combat or exploration. Each companion has a skill tree and an active skill that gives you a boost or performs a special attack on an enemy. Don't worry about making your companions attack normally during combat, since they will do that automatically. But don't forget about their special abilities, which can come in handy during major combat sections. Skill checks can create new solutions. As you progress through The Outer Worlds 2, you will increasingly encounter skill checks that require a certain level of a particular skill to proceed, such as the lockpicking skill to unlock a certain high-level door, the science skill to perform experiments at a lab, or the speech skill to say something smart and insightful. Try to keep up with the skill checks in at least 1 or 2 main areas, since these will usually lead to unique solutions or hidden paths that wouldn't otherwise be available during main quests or throughout Arcadia's abandoned buildings. Always look up, down, and around for vents and other hidden areas. Stealth is another possible focus area for your character, and vents, tunnels, and hidden passageways are everywhere around Arcadia. Not only will these let you frequently bypass combat, but they'll also lead to secret areas, high-level resources, and other quests. If you're stuck on a quest or just want to find something new, well, look all the way around and you might just find a secret way. Look for optional info to make your fights easier. When you're in a dialogue sequence, you will consistently see options that have various requirements, including skill checks or perks. These locked options often require information you've discovered in computer terminals around the environments and will lead to some of the more concrete and interesting outcomes you can get in each scenario. Plus, the game will sometimes require information alongside skill checks for even more impactful options, so it's always beneficial to have as much information as possible.
And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at Gaming Vault, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.